Good morning, family. Happy Sunday. So today I want to speak to the ones who feel like you have nothing left to give God. You've prayed until the words ran dry. You've cried until there were no more tears to cry. You've fasted. You've waited. You've actually waited and held on for far longer than you ever thought you could, okay? And now you're like, God, I am empty. I have absolutely nothing left in me to give. I'm grieved by this life and I just can't anymore. I can't do it, right? I think I can help you this morning, okay? I really think I can encourage you this morning, and I pray that this word encourages you, okay? Let me take you to Mark chapter 12, verses 41 through 44. I have my Bible in front of me. This is where I was led this morning during my quiet devotional time, right? Here we see the story of a poor widow's offering, right? The Bible says Jesus sat down opposite the place of where the offerings were put, and he watched the crowd putting in their money, right? Many rich people threw in large amounts of money, but then came a poor widow who put in 2 small coins, and these coins were called mites, M-I-T-E-S. Now, in the KJV, or the King James version of the Bible, we see the word penny used in other places, right? And the translation of penny is denarius in Latin, right? It's a silver coin, and it was worth a full day's wage in Jesus' time, right? So let's put it in our money today. So if you worked a full day, you earned $120. That was your penny in biblical times, your denarius, right? That was enough to live on for one day, okay? But a mite, M-I-T-E, was different. A mite was the smallest coin in circulation. It was a tiny copper coin. In Greek, it's called lepton, meaning small or thin, and it was worth far less than a denarius. In fact, in today's terms, a mite would be closer to a single dollar when compared to $120 denarius, a full day's wage, right? So that means this widow's entire offering, both of her mites, was worth about $1 compared to $120, which was required to live. So she had almost nothing. She couldn't even afford to buy much food or anything with it. She definitely couldn't afford to live for the day. And yet, she gave everything she had. The Bible calls her a poor widow twice. And this repetition is intentional. It's her underlying condition, right? She was poor financially. She had almost nothing. She was also poor in spirit. She was a widow. She had lost her husband, okay? She was vulnerable, overlooked, without protection or provision unless a family stepped in, okay? She was poor in circumstance, grieving over the loss of her husband, who I'm sure she loved, right? And she didn't even have enough to survive the day. But here's what's radical about this. She didn't let her grief or lack keep her from worship. She didn't wait until she had more to give, or until her situation improved, or until she felt better spiritually. She gave now, and she gave all. And Jesus said she gave more than all the others because he doesn't measure by market value. He measures by sacrifice in proportion to what you have left, right? The rich gave out of their surplus, right? They had an overabundance, so they gave out of a surplus, right? She gave out of her lack. And that's a word for somebody today, because many of us are walking with God right now, feeling poor in spirit, poor financially, right? Trying to serve God while carrying grief, and grief looks different for everybody. Some are grieving health issues. Some are grieving financial hardship. Some are grieving broken marriages. And help me this morning, y'all. It's early, so these words might come out fumbled, okay? But some are grieving over family, right? Some are grieving because they're tired of waiting for what God promised them, okay? You've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're like, I'm sick of it, right? But here's the truth. God still sees the 2 mites that you bring him. It could be your last ounce of strength to pray. It could be your faith when it's hanging on by a thread. It could be your willingness to worship with tears streaming down your face, or your generosity when you can barely cover your own needs, especially in today's society where everything is expensive and way overpriced. In God's kingdom, little from man plus much from the heart equals great in heaven's eyes equals great in the eyes of God. So even today, if all you have is $1 compared to someone else's 120, bring it, give it, offer it, because he sees it and he values it and he calls it more. Your pennies, the 2 mites that you have in your hands, they are priceless in his eyes. So even if you feel like I don't have any more to give, like I have nothing, give your nothing. Give from your place of nothing, because with your nothing, God will turn that into something. And he honors you when you're giving from a place of nothing. He will refuel you. He will replenish you. He will pour back into you. A lot of the times we look for people to pour into us, but God himself will pour into you. You will wake up with a supernatural level of peace, with a supernatural level of faith, where your faith is no longer just a mustard seed. It's grown to something bigger. God will supernaturally replenish you. Give from your nothing, because he considers your nothing something extravagant. And I hope this encourages you today. We're going to read it together. I have my Bible in front of me, but I'm going to read it. Well, I'm going to read it for you. You're just going to listen. But I'm reading from my New King James Version Bible, and it's titled The Widow's 2 Mites. It says, "Now Jesus sat opposite the treasury and saw how the people put money into the treasury. And many who were rich put in much. Then one poor widow came and threw in 2 mites, which make quadrans. So he called his disciples to himself and said to them, 'Assuredly, I say to you that this poor widow has put in more than all those who have given to the treasury, for they all put in out of their abundance,'" out of their surplus, out of their extra, y'all. "But she, out of her poverty, put in all she had, her whole livelihood." Jesus saw that as more than the people who gave from overflow. He's not waiting until he gets you to a place of surplus, of overflow. Give nothing out of the nothing that you have and watch him honor that. So I pray that this blesses someone today. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great Sunday. Bye.